Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with SimplerOptions.com, and in today's video I wanted to spend some time discussing ideas with you in XLE. So XLE is of course the ETF for the spiders based off of the energy, the SPDR spider energy ETF, and what I'm looking at here is that you've so far been doing a pretty decent job of respecting your technicals. So when you first begin your analysis with the weekly chart, you've got a beautiful respect of the moving averages we like to follow here, combined with a weekly squeeze, and the clarity off of this chart makes the daily a little bit easier to play in another spot where if a squeeze fires short and you can't really get much resolution in that direction, then it immediately shows back up in the opposing. That should add some strength to that idea. Okay, well if XLE isn't the exact place that you'd like to trade it, a lot of times you can break down into the individual components of it and give yourself some good trades here as well. So I'm directionally long XLE, but if that idea doesn't work out, what might I look at doing in something like XOM to try and participate in the move? Well, I like XOM to the long side in the same way, but when you look at how it's not really doing quite as good of a job against that 10 and 34, and you're also below some of these broad moving averages, this is where I like considering ideas like the unbalanced fly here, because if you can take in a credit on this, it adds up the perfect way of being in a spot where if it does move higher, then you won't lose anything like you would with a typical butterfly. And if it chops sideways, that's actually where you see these spreads come to fruition the best. So on something like a 10-cent credit, I think that's a fine way to play that for this week's type expiration. So what I'm trying to do here is paint a picture where you can be long XLE, neutral on XOM into this week's expiration, and then cap all that off with an idea in CVX. Now CVX is a slightly different setup for me. Could this pull back? Absolutely. And anytime I talk about a bullish or bearish idea, try and internalize what it will feel like to pull back into your 21 EMA, and then you can help stomach those a little bit better. But the reason why I like this one to the long side is you've got a really nice pattern, once again, in relationship to the 10 and 34. You've got a weekly squeeze, and this is where I would look to be a little bit longer term, directionally long. So short-term long XLE, long-term long CVX, and inside of that, trying to play XOM neutral to help cushion all of it. So I hope that helps, gives you some ideas on how to position into the end of the year, and if there's anything else I can do to help you, please let me know. Otherwise, I wanted to make sure you are aware of the Getting the Greeks webinar that Bruce is going to be doing here. The strategy portion of this is going to start on November 17th, and he will be doing that in 2 parts. So, like I said, every time I get to hang out with Bruce, I always learn something from him. He's one of the best, fundamental and real technically minded traders, and if this is something you're looking to add an edge to your trading in, I don't know anyone else better to learn it from. So, y'all have a great night, and I will see you at the next free video.